Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the NXT Ring Report. Man, oh man, NXT Ring Report got very interesting. As you see right here, Zilla Fatu signs his NXT contract. Zilla Fatu making an impact as he did last week, interrupting the no one contenders match between Grayson Waller and Cruz Montana, who was about to embroil to be no one contender. But Zilla comes out the woodwork and inserts himself into being won the NXT title. What will Grayson Waller have to say? And Cruz Montana, what they both have to say at the Zilla Fatu made that impact. Zilla comes out of nowhere. He comes out swinging. We'll get the pro wrestling show started right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here for Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling. Here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is can. Tell a friend, call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. All right, let's get to it right here, right now. And we kick things off here on the NXT Ring Report with this. We kick things off with Cruz Montana. Cruz Montana wants to get some unanswered questions. He wants a piece of Cruz wants a piece of Zilla Fatu, interrupting him and interrupting his match. Cruz wants that piece of him. Cruz wants to make sure that he gets his chance. Cruz Montana said he's going to be waiting outside the parking lot, waiting the arrival of Zilla Fatu. See if Zilla Fatu is going to show up or not. So we get started with this. No one contenders match, a fatal four-way for the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. EK Prosper was in action, as well as Christian Angels, well as this right here, Romeo Moreno, well as La Parker, a WCW legend. La Parker coming out there. These four men battle for a chance, an opportunity, or a shot at the Cruiserweight AAA Championship. Who's going to get the chance to meet Ray Phoenix for a shot? All four men doing all aerial assaults like cruiserweights. It's like every time WWE try to bring the Cruiserweight Championship back, they always do that, and it always doesn't work into their favor. So, but we see this right here. We're seeing a lot. As we know right here, Ray Phoenix will defend the Cruiserweight Championship against EK Prosper. That'll happen next week. The AAA Cruiserweight Championship happening next week. So looks like EK Prosper setting up himself. That's what EK Prosper doing what he needed to do. Also, too, you saw this right here. The Vandy Project was trying to holler at Ren Sinclair and women's champion. I forgot that women's champion name, Kendall Gray. They were trying to holler at her. And Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray saying they weren't interested in the Vandy Project. Vandy Project saying they got other bigger fish to fry. Yeah. Well, we get this action right here. Tia Hill team with her with Jada Parker in her corner. Tia Hill went against the boat, Natty, Natalia. Natalia came out with her entourage, her company, her crew as well. And, they did do so tonight. And you see right here, Cruz Montana looked like he was ready, standing out there waiting for Zilla Fatu to show up. Natty went against Tia Hill. Tia Hill was too much to take as Natalia applied the sharpshooter and did a sharpshooter, and there's Jada Parker washed on. Didn't like that scene and stuff. Looks like Natty gets her revenge over Tia Hill, costing her throwing a towel in her face. We get this right here. Lucien Price, big guy. Lucien Price was in action. So he become the speed champion. We'll get before we get there. This right here, stuff like that. But Lucha Price was in action as he took on Lexus King, one half of Birthright. Lucha Price, yeah, do so as well. And Lucha Price did. Right here, Lucian Price would mean business. He wanted to become the speed champion. He had to do it under 3 minutes, 20 seconds. And you see right here, both guys going at each other. But Lucian Price lost to um what's the name? You saw right there. Uh, you gotta thank his friend, Lexus King, for helping him get what he needed to get. But Lucian Price getting the help of you know who to we saw. So we saw that as well. So Lucian Price and OTM, they're trying to get back together. I don't know what's going on. How's OTM trying to prove his loyalty to Lucian? So we saw that as well. Also, too, the controversial loudmouth Grayson Waller had something to say. Grayson Waller talking about Zilla Fatu costing him his no one contenders match, and he's saying he want to get his hands on Zilla and wants to find a way to get his hands on Zilla one way somehow and stuff. So also too, we saw our NXT champion Tony D'Angelo as well. So we saw that. Yeah. So you see that Cruz Montana came out there. Everybody wanted to. So we saw that as well. So General Manager Robert Stone announced to the three that Cruz Montana, um, um, Grayson Waller, and Tony D'Angelo that they'll be in a triple threat match, but we kind of knew he was going to be saying Zilla Fatu will come out there later and sign his contract, but we kind of knew Zilla was going to be part of something bigger and better. That he said wait to sign a contract, but I kind of knew then what they was talking about. Zilla was going to be part of it. But we get to this right here: the women's champion Kendall Gray and the Speed Women's champion Ren Sinclair in tag team action. These women were in tag team action, taking on Kai Armstrong, who kind of reminds me of Bianca Belair with her strength, her feminine presence. When Kai teamed up with Kalani Jordan, the number one contender for the women's championship against Kendall. These two women will meet at Heatwave, so we saw that. But the whole match looks like the champions couldn't keep their act together. It really couldn't. They couldn't stay focused. Kendall Gray and Rand was trying to get their footing back in, but Kai and Kilani, with their athletic background, showed them. So, saw that as well. But it's like Kai and Kalani win over Ren Sinclair and Kendall. Ren Sinclair and Kendall gonna have to regroup. Uh, you saw how that was gonna go. Also, too, you saw this right here as Keanu Carver wants a shot, wanted to be no one contender next in line for a child shot, but Stone told him no, you're not ready yet. So guess they put. He said he was gonna give him a bigger option down the road. Also, too, we see this right here, bad blood between these two former stablemates as Shaquan Sugars and Deion Lennox. These two men had a face-to-face confrontation meeting. They couldn't be. They had to be separated. Well, we kind of know that these two men will be in brawl inside of a 15 solid steel cage. That'll happen next week, so we'll see that as well between them. We'll see how this is gonna go in this steel cage match, so they can finally settle their differences inside the steel cage. And so we'll see. You can tell right here, Shaquan looks angry and Dion looks angry. Shaquan trying to tell that Dion is a football player and he a preppy, a jock or whatever you want to call it. And Dion looks at Shaquan like he's just a gangster or you know what, the anything you want to think of around the book. But I kind of know what I'm thinking. But you know, typical, you know what, yeah. But these two men will meet next week inside of a steel cage. Looking forward to seeing that. As well as this, well, like we said, we'll see that next week. Steel cage match between Saquon Sugars and Deion Lennox next week in a weaponized steel cage match. So we'll see that. All weapons are available and legal. So we'll see that. Also, too, the Vandy Project was in action. You see right here, the Vandy Project was in action. So Vandy Project, you saw that, and then see Shallow Hill. Which one of these two men were going to be next in line to be no one contender for the NXT North American Championship? See right here, um, that man Narako spewed that poison mist onto Cheyenne Hill, cost Cheyenne to not get the victory. Cheyenne didn't have a chance, and now Jackson Drake, now the new no one contender for the championship, he'll meet what's his name for the NXT title, for the NXT North American title, Miles Bourne. Well, the talk is well, let me tell you that with what's his name before we get um right here for the NXT Championship. So it's gonna be Miles Bourne's gonna be having a double night at Heatwave. Miles Bourne's gonna have to in singles action for his championship. He's gonna have to defend against Jackson Drake for the North American Championship. Then on another night, him and his partner Tavion Heights will defend the championship. I think Tavion's gonna turn on Miles. That's what I'm thinking. It look like we've been building, so we're gonna see that build up for months, and this is gonna finally happen at Heatwave. Watch, I guarantee you. I'm kind of like a wrestling psychic or something. We'll see that. Miles Moore's gonna be having double duty. Speaking of that, the man of the hour, Zilla Fatu, coming out there, Zilla coming out there to sign his contract. Zilla Fatu came out there with a lot of fanfare and fan praise, as well as Zilla coming out there with Robert Stone out there. As we told you, Zilla Fatu looking to sign the contract to become an official member of the NXT roster. Zilla Fatu looks like he's going to be having a lot of people, a lot of enemies. He's going to have a lot of enemies, a lot of enemies. And that's what he's going to be having. He's going to have his way. And you tell Robert Stone like he's smiling from ear to ear. Robert Stone even made the announcement that once Zilla signed the contract, he's going to be guaranteed an NXT championship match. So Zilla didn't waste no time. Zilla signed the contract, but Zilla said that he wanted to be added in the championship match of the triple threat, thus making a fatal four-way. So everybody's going to be gunning for Zilla Fatu. Zilla Fatu is going to have a lot of enemies. A lot of people are going to be gunning and waiting, like Cruz Montana and Grayson Waller, to get their hands on me, even on the NXT champion, Tony D'Angelo. So Zilla Fatu is going to be having a lot of enemies coming his way since signing his contract. He's gonna make his debut match. Question is, will Zilla be the first one making his WWE debut, winning the NXT Championship? That's gonna be the question. Everybody wants to know. So we'll see. We'll see how this is gonna go, but it's gonna be real crazy. Zilla Fatu now official member of the NXT roster and will be challenging for the NXT Championship along with Cruz Montana and Grayson Waller against champion Tony D'Angelo. So we're looking forward to seeing that as well. All right. That's going to do it for the NXT Ring Report. But let's give you a quick rundown what's going to go down next week. Next week, this is going to happen. EK Prosper will take on Ray Phoenix for the AAA Cruiserweight title. EK Prosper did what he did tonight, winning the match and getting himself set up for a championship, become Cruiserweight champion of AAA. We'll see that as well. Also, too, a steel cage match between Shaquan Sugars and Dion Lennox. We told you it's been boiling down for months. Now it comes to a head next week between these two men, and hopefully, well, Dion said that he's gonna leave. He's gonna leave enter the cage with Shaquan. He's gonna leave out the cage. Both men will never be the same. I tell you that right now. And two, Kat Armstrong taking on Zarya. Is this a test run for her to get a shot at the North American Championship? That could be the possibility, but we'll see. And what's next for the NXT Championship title picture between Zilla, Cruz, Tony, and Grayson? All four men want to be vying for the NXT Championship, so we'll see. Thank you for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dixon. So long. We'll see you tomorrow for the AEW Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show.